Hey, what's going on? Hey, listen, I wanted to do a revamp of my original draft, which is on my channel. I'll link it below, and I'll also link it at the end of the video. But I wanted to do another draft mainly because, listen, there's a lot of moves being made, quarterbacks going here, and that's really what this video is going to focus is going to focus on mostly is quarterback moves as it pertains to the draft. But hey, listen, if you wouldn't mind, like, sharing, and subscribing, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Looking right here, you got the first pick, you got Evan Neal. It's about how that goes. You know, some people was putting one of the ends there, Aiden Hutchinson or Thibodeau. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think they have talent there at the edge. Also, there's free agency. There's plenty of other draft. They have the first pick in the second round. There's going to be plenty of guys there that can develop. I don't think they necessarily need to do that. They need to show up their offensive line, make sure Lawrence can be a little bit more comfortable back there, man. He had a tough go at it. A lot of it wasn't his fault. He's getting beat down a little bit here in the media, but a lot of that stuff wasn't his fault. Young guy, so kind of what you expect considering everything involved. Next, you got Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. I see that as the logical next two picks. Next, you got Kyle Hamilton. You could have went Stingley here, but to me, Kyle Hamilton is above and beyond most of the other safeties in this draft. So, as far as value is concerned, I just think he's hard to pass up. Has a lot of versatility to your team in general. So he's very hard to pass up right here. Now, as you can see, my number 5 pick and my number 7 pick, what I did was most sense trading those picks to Houston for none other than the Deshaun Watson. Obviously, they would need a little bit more capital than this. They might need another first round next year. But listen, they have picks. They have the picks. They have the capital. So why not make that move? I think Watson may be interested. I haven't really heard much on that, but I think he may be interested in going to the Giants. I think Flores wants to coach there. They go there together, package deal. I think it makes the most sense. So why not make that happen? So I went on ahead and gave him George Karlaftis. Now, mind you, um, this is Houston's pick that I gave to Houston along with the number 5, number 7 pick for Deshaun Watson. I also have Daniel Jones going to Houston. I also think Houston should try to acquire Jameis Winston from New Orleans. They're not gonna have to give up a first round pick for it, so that's why they're sitting pretty right here at 5 and 7. Now, according to my draft, Houston now has Daniel Jones and Jameis Winston in their quarterback room. So I think you should go in, kind of short up there, couple bookends at the end, start to create some culture defensively. Uh, Next, the number 6 pick. I have this pick is originally allocated to the Carolina Panthers. However, I think the Panthers should trade for Derek Carr. Why not? They need a quarterback. I think he fits the bill. They're not going to be. Listen, they don't have anything near what they need to get Watson. I don't think that'd be a nice fit, but I don't think that's realistic. Um, so I think listen, Carr's on his way out in Las Vegas. They ready to move on from him. I think as much as he can't afford it, I think he might be ready to move on from them in a sense. I think a fresh start in Carolina would be perfect. Now, along with this pick, I have Darnold and maybe now along with this pick, I have Darnold and maybe McCaffrey going along with Darnold to Las Vegas for Carr. Maybe um, the Raiders kicking a draft pick, to kind of balance out that draft that excuse me that trade a little bit. But nevertheless, I have them taking Willis right here, number 6 pick. Think he's a nice fit. They have now, mind you, at this particular moment, according to my draft, they have Darnold, and now they have Willis. So I think they make a nice pair. Be able to develop Willis. Next, number 7 pick, Houston Texans, Stingley. I think he's perfect. He's perfect for now. The whole issue with them getting rid of the head coach, I'm not particularly sure what that's about. I mean, well, I know what that's about. I'll actually link that video at the end of this video to kind of give you an idea um if you're a little confused like most people are about why they got rid of Cully, but nevertheless, Stingley be perfect to go along with Karlaftis, to go along with Kayvon Thibodeau. Perfect pick there. Next, number 8 pick. Now, what I did here was, according to my draft, I'm gonna stop saying this; it's a bit redundant, but I took the liberty of trading Matt Ryan to the Browns, and I took the liberty of trading Baker Mayfield for Matt Ryan, along with a draft pick later in the draft. Won't be a first round. Nobody's giving up a first round for Ryan or Baker. Just being honest with you. Think both of them need a fresh start. I think both of them. Think both teams. So when you're talking about the Browns, you're talking about the Falcons, could really use what the other quarterback is bringing. Atlanta could use a little youth, little moxie. Browns could use a little stability, a little consistency. You know what I mean? Something to really hold on to go along with that running game. So mind you, at this particular point, number 8 pick, along with Baker Mayfield, you got Garrett Wilson. A lot of people had Jameson Williams going here. I like Garrett Wilson here. Nice style player, very good route runner. Love what he brings to the table to go along with what they have there with Ridley. And they will need to get it back. They'll probably do that second, third round. Who knows? I might even do a second, third round draft just to kind of bring it all together. But nevertheless, right here we got Garrett Wilson. Next, now next you got the number 9 pick. I would expect. I think what makes the most sense is the Denver Broncos trading for Russell Wilson. That makes so much sense to me. They will have to give up more assets, but this right now we're dealing with the first round. They give up their first round pick, so now it's Seattle. So at the current moment, Russell Wilson is in Denver. Seattle is without a quarterback. My personal opinion, they should go find a free agent. I think a perfect guy would probably be Jacoby Brissett. Now they will still have to draft a guy. There'll be some options later on, not a whole lot, but there'll be some options later on, some more free agents, things like that. They will eventually have to. Brissett's not the answer, in other words, but I think he could really patch some things up there for the time being while they try to figure everything out. I have DeMarvin Leal going to Seattle. Nice pick, versatile guy. They know really do. Seattle don't really make the best picks in the first round, and they don't really pan out that much. Their best draft is after anything after the first round. They typically can get the best out of those guys, but right here they seem to have a bit of an issue. You could go offensive lineman here, but just think some good value there with Leo. Next, New York Jets. You have Charles Cross, very good football player. They need another tackle, kind of bookend. Deal with Mekhi Becton to help the young kid out, Zach Wilson. Kind of see what you got. You got to protect him, make sure he's very well protected because you don't know what you got until, you know what I mean, you can put some guys in front of him, you know what I mean, so he can kind of start making some plays for you. So I also think the Jets should possibly try to see if they can get Trubisky. I think he'll be a nice fit for their offense, their scheme, along with the fact that since Trubisky went to Buffalo and Dabo got a hold of him, he's been a lot better. I really like what I've seen from Trubisky. I think Trubisky going to the Jets will challenge Zach Wilson, will kind of bring if bring the best out of him, and I think maybe uh, Trubisky winds up starting there. Trubisky. Listen, don't forget Trubisky was the first round pick, and he is talented. Whether people want to hear that or not, Trubisky is talented, whether you like it or not. So could go there, challenge him, make him better. He needs to be. He needs to compete. He needs to compete. Next, you have the Washington football team. Now, right here, I also made a trade. I had the Washington football team trading a later pick, obviously not a first rounder because they're still sitting here, a later pick for Jimmy G. San Francisco's ready to get rid of Jimmy G. That contract is killing them. That Jimmy G has. He's perfect. He's perfect for what Washington is trying to do. They slide him right in. Then you go right here, number 11. You get a guy you can develop. Sit on the bench for a couple years. He'll get some early playing time. Jimmy G don't stay healthy for too long. So, nice pick overall. Really, really like that. Andrew Booth next, number 12 to Minnesota. Eventually, what I think is going to happen, I think Vikings are going to trade Kirk Cousins. I think that's a great idea. I actually have the New Orleans Saints making that move. I think is a nice fit for them. He's efficient. He'll do what they need him to do, and I think it'll really bring out the best in him. Along with that, I think that'd be a perfect fit for Cousins to go to New Orleans. So I have them later on. I think it's the number 18th pick. So Minnesota, according to my draft, has 2 picks in the first round via New Orleans Saints for Kirk Cousins. Right here they go Andrew Booth. They need some cornerback help. They need help on defense in general. So some cornerback help here. A guy like Booth, nice football player. I always said about Booth, he has good instincts. He pretty agile guy. He plays a lot longer than he is. You know what I mean? On tape, I thought he was. I mean, he's not short by any means, but plays a lot longer than he is. Next, you have Jamison Williams going to Cleveland. Now, remember, right here we have Matt Ryan going here. So now Browns sitting at 13. They got Matt Ryan. Got Matt Ryan. Why not give him a weapon? Give him another weapon. Got that running game. Got that good defense. Go ahead and round it on out. Jamison Williams, a burner. They got. Oh man, they mess around and get Matt Ryan. It's gonna be hell to pay. Next, Akim Ekwanu going to the Baltimore Ravens, who are in dire need of some offensive line. Listen, Baltimore Ravens had needed offensive linemen for the last 4 years. I mean, they have been barren in that regard. So getting a guy like Ikem at this particular moment is a blessing. Believe that. Next, look what I went on here and did. I went on. I got cocky with it. Devin Lloyd and Kobe Dean going to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's oh man. They got T.J. Edwards there who I like, but you put him on the field with these two guys, it's over. You better you better come ready. You better come ready. You better believe that Tyler Lindenbaum going to the Chargers. Think that makes a lot of sense. They need to show up the offense. I don't know what they're gonna do with the head coach. I don't know. I don't know about that guy, man. I do not know about that guy. There's plenty of coaching candidates coming up. I would expect that they might do something different there. I would think that would be the move, be the best idea. But that's a whole nother subject. Next, you got 18. Remember, this 18th pick is from New Orleans. You can see it right there, right below the logo. That's from New Orleans, via the Kirk Cousins trade that I made. So Sam Howell, they got my man from Texas A&M on it, who I really like, by the way. Him and Sam can compete. You bring in. I also have them trading for Nick Foles. Maybe a third round pick or a fourth round pick trade for Nick Foles. The Bears could really use it. Listen, the Bears need some picks, man. So anything you give the Bears is kind of desperate in that sense. So you can get a guy like Nick Foles for next to nothing, really. I mean, outside his contract, which is kind of crazy. So now 19, I went ahead and rounded off. Now it's funny because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I went ahead and did them right here, man. Treylon Burks to go along with those two linebackers. I think he's a perfect fit. They got speed. They got all out talent in the wide receiver. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts. I don't think people understand how good that kid is, man. I don't think people really get it. Him with Burks and oh man, can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Next at 20, we got Pitt. I would expect that, in my opinion, right here, Kenny Pickett, along with free agent Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, Kenny Pickett, they don't have to give up anything for him. They can get him close to next to none. I mean, they're gonna have to pay him quarterback money, but he is affordable. Um, they also plan on making some moves here eventually, so I would expect that they shouldn't have much, if any, issue making that happen. To get a guy like Pickett. Next, you got Drake London going to Pittsburgh. Excuse me, going to the Pats. Perfect pick. Very, very. He fits their offense very well. I think he'd give them exactly what they need at that position. Next you have David Ajabo, um, Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, they had two picks in our draft, so David Ajabo to go along Malik Willis. That's a nice haul. That is a nice haul. Then who you got? You got Darnold at the quarterback. You might can finesse McCaffrey there if you're giving up a pick, maybe a player. That's some good stuff right there. Maybe another offensive lineman. I Yeah, I know they're not gonna take Leatherwood. You can keep him, but anybody, you know what I mean. There's some things you could do. I like that. I like the idea that Mark Gardner to the Arizona Cardinals. They need another corner, long corner. I think he can get a little free safety action, but I think he'll fit very nicely in Arizona. I think if he's allowed to get there, if they do pick him up, I think he could be a true corner. I don't think they would have to use him. I say he just fits their defense very well. He had to play the two corner, but nevertheless, I think he'll do very well there. Next, you got Big Dog. You got Jordan Davis, 350 pounds, 25th pick. You got Kenyon Green, um, going to the Bengals. You gotta you gotta show that offensive line up. You gotta protect the franchise. Burrow sitting there. You gotta make sure he had one knee surgery. You don't need no more. One is enough. So try to shore that up as much as possible. It's football, so anything can happen. I'm not trying to put that out there, knock on wood, but I'm just saying a guy like Kenyon Green can really help solidify things there in the offensive line, help keep their kids safe, help keep them tucked in and all that good stuff. You ain't got to worry about them. Next, I went and got a little cocky. I like this pick. Carson Strong to Miami. Listen, I'm not a believer in Tua. I'm not a believer in left-handed quarterbacks in general. I don't think left-handed quarterbacks can play in the NFL, and that's a lot to get into. However, yeah, I don't believe in left-handed quarterbacks. The game is it goes a certain way, and there's a lot of moving parts. So left-handed quarterbacks don't really assist or aid in that. Also, I think they should go maybe try to get a guy like Mariota off from free agency. So according to my draft, you have Carson Strong, Tua, and Mariota, and figure it out. You have some nice talent there. Later on in the draft, you can get you a running back. You can start building again. Because I don't know, the fact that they got rid of the head coach, I'm not particularly sure what they're trying to do, who want to do there. So a guy like Carson Strong can help, assist in them finding the quarterback because they that has to happen for much of anything really. Yep, 26, 27 got Trevon Walker, who's kind of been moving up here lately. I like him. I like Jermaine Johnson a little bit more than Walker. But I just think Buffalo would take Walker here as opposed to Jermaine Johnson. Um, I don't know. I like Boogie Basham. They might have to move Boogie on the inside though. That's not. I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world. Move him on the inside. Rousseau is proven he can play. So Javon Walker to go along with it. You can get a linebacker here as well. The top two linebackers already taken off the board. So you know, fit and everything else. But like I said, I like Jermaine Johnson here, but um, Walker has a little bit more versatility. They can line him up on, in the three technique and all that other stuff. So that's possible. Desmond Ritter, Detroit. Golf is not the long term answer, but golf is about as good as you're going to get of a bridge guy. I don't even think he's. I think he's better than being a bridge guy. I think he's a guy you can win games with if you got good coaching and you have time to develop another guy. He's like a Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's good enough for that. Get a guy like Ritter this late. People don't understand when you getting guys this late in the draft. It's not the second round because it's still a first round. But you could take a couple more. You could take a little chance here, and I don't think he's much of a Listen, he's a need and he's a nice player. It's good value here. I think a lot of people may not think that way, but I think so. I think he's good value here for Detroit right here, who are in dire need of another quarterback. By the way, KC, Kair Inlam, nice pick there. They need some defensive back help, especially you don't know what's going to happen with Tyron and Sorensen. That whole defensive backfield is just going to be shaken up. And I think Thornhill might be on the last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he got extended. I had to look that up, but who knows what's going to happen? I don't know what the deal is with Charvis. I don't even know if Charvis is still there. So, yep. Elam right here, nice pick. Now I decided last two picks I'll do it along with you. Excuse me, the last three picks. Now, I just don't think Tom Brady is ever going to retire. So I am assuming that Tom Brady's going to be there. They got Trasker, who they're developing. Uh, can't wait to see what he looks like come preseason next year. So, well, come next September. So, where do you go here? I think you go wide receiver. I don't think Tom Brady's going anywhere anytime soon. Give him a weapon. Why not? Uh, Godwin's going to be gone. You know, they need to speed up their tempo on offense in general. Well, not speed up their tempo, but as far as the receivers, they need to get Antonio Brown. That's a mess. So a lot of people go Olave here. I'm not as big a fan of Olave as a lot of other people are. Right here, I'm gonna go Dodson. very quick twitch kind of player. I think he has an underrated knack for finding his way open in the seam. I mean, wherever you really need him to, he just has a knack for that. He has a certain cleverness to the game outside of him just being fast as anybody. He does have a underrated kind of knack for getting open. Next we got Tennessee. Tennessee has to go. They has to go offensive line. I think tackle would be a good idea. Let's see who we got. Let's go. Let's go based on value. I like Pennick. I see here they got Bernhardt, Raymond over Pennick. I like Pennick. I like his style of play. I think he'd be a nice fit for Tennessee. I'm gonna go Pennick right here. Now, this is the issue when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. I always like to give, anytime I do these drafts, I always like to give Aaron Rodgers a couple weapons, but they always have to address the line. So I don't understand what's the issue with that. What the issue with that is, but they always have to address the line. I don't think that changes this year. I think they're going to have to really focus in on some receivers, running backs later on in the draft. But right here, I'm gonna go edge. I'm gonna go edge right here. I like Jermaine Johnson. I love Drake Jackson too. Mainly, this is fit. I think Jermaine Johnson is just a better fit for what they could use. You could go Drake Jackson here. I think Drake Jackson is worth a first round pick, quite frankly. But I'm gonna go Jermaine Johnson. Oh no, not a bad draft. I don't think not a bad draft at all. Excuse me if I speed past this part a little bit. Hey man, would love to hear your opinion on it. Agree, disagree. It's all good. Appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for listening.